Identity will get you there faster than anything else, even faster than manifestation. Hi everyone, I'm Steffi Lane. It's been a minute since I've done a live on Instagram, but I wanted to come to you a little bit of story time, a little bit of sharing things about what I've gone through, and perhaps you can relate. But yes, and I also have a little bit of a disclaimer with this live. I am struggling with really bad cedar from Austin, Texas, and so my breath is a little bit shorter. You'll hear me sniffling and things, so I apologize in advance, and I've got my tissue and stuff over here. But let's talk about the silver lining and things, and the identity and the embodiment and being challenged and all the things, and how identity is going to get you there so much faster than anything else. It's going to just cut everything in half. Okay, let me share a story with you. It's 2018. Andrew and I just got married, and we are so in love. And I had a coaching call, and I went to a coffee shop to meet up with my friend and client, and Andrew hired someone from TaskRabbit to put up a TV. It was like the final thing from our house. It was like the final thing. And to like when you get all your Christmas, your wedding gifts, it was like the final thing to put away. And this guy drilled a hole into the wall, and he used a stud finder, but it was God's will. He drilled a hole into a pipe, and it burst, and the water was flooding for like 10-20 minutes. Our landlord that we normally would call right away had just died. So he had died maybe a month or two. So his wife was taking over, but we didn't really know his wife. And then she had fired the manager of the place. So it was just a freaking bad timing. Like, the guy that we normally call is not available, and then the manager that's usually there got fired from the wife. And then we are struggling. We're about to call the fire department because it is just flooding. And so they finally turn it off, and everything's damaged, right? The wall's damaged. There we go. The wall is damaged. The house, they found lead and asbestos in it, which I guess was a good thing that that happened. But it was so much damage, incredible damage. And they had to rip out the wall. They had to rip out the carpet and the flooring and everything. And of course, they wanted to know who was going to pay for this. And, obviously you think it would be TaskRabbit, but TaskRabbit was like, no, we're not going to do this. And so we had to sue TaskRabbit, which is owned by IKEA. That ended up, I'll kind of save you on that. That ended up working out, but it was a $20,000 bill plus some. That it looked like we were being held for that, and which was not fair, right? This should have been TaskRabbit's thing, but it all worked out. However, then another thing happened, another situation happened. It was just one of those moments where literally everything was flooding and everything was not working out for the highest and greatest. And we had bills stacking up. We didn't have a place to live. We were in a hazard center. If we went to our home, we didn't have that much stuff. And so, not much stuff. We didn't have access to our stuff. And so then Andrew and I started to think, okay, how can we turn lemons into lemonade? What can we do to turn lemons into lemonade in this situation? Because the house is a mess and everything. So we packed up all our stuff. We put it in storage, and we decided we were going to travel. We were going to do a year and just travel the world. That was the thing. And now looking back, right now I'm looking back from the past into where it is now. And we were able to travel the world. We went to Bali, we went to Mexico, we went to Canada, we went to parts of the US. I got to meet so many of you cool people because circumstances were not perfect and things changed, and literally we were being eroded from our place, from our home. Like, it was guiding us to something greater and bigger. And so obviously I can look at this looking back, right? I can look at this looking back. But in that moment, it felt hard. In that moment, it felt like this is too much. So we were in Palm Springs because it was like, my business was just a baby. Andrew's business was going through some really hard times at that moment. And we went to Palm Springs, and Palm Springs is really hot. And I went outside, and the cicadas were chirping, and it was hot. The gravel was super, super warm. The cement was really warm. And I remember lying on the ground on my yoga mat and being like, I can't do this. This is too much, because it was legal drama. We didn't have a home. The business was not doing that well. Things were shaky. We didn't have, it was just insane. When you have those moments where everything's stacking upon each other and over and over. And I remember thinking in that moment, I cannot do this. I can't have a business. I can't hold space for people. I'm going through my own stuff. I couldn't do it. And I was like, I just can't. So I gave up in that moment. It was like a give up. And I never gave up, but it was I released something. I was like, I couldn't do this. I can't do this anymore. And now, it guided me to the right teachers, the right mentors, the right programs, the right things. And it guided me towards something that I needed in that moment. But I wish I had learned about identity work, about embodiment work in that moment, because I wouldn't have been so self-defeating. I wouldn't have been so woe's me. I wouldn't have been in this pity party, because I stayed in that pity party for months. That was the longest. When people say what's the longest you've been in a funk? And sometimes, but now I can be in a funk for a day or two. But that moment was the longest funk I've ever been. I think I was in that funk for 6 months, maybe 8 months. It was just heavy, this heavy, heavy, heavy energy. And it could have been avoided with identity work. It could have been avoided with standard work. But it was guiding me for something, for me to feel something, and for me to feel pain, for me to feel struggle, for me to feel suffering, to feel all these things. And then to come out of it and be like, okay, I have the confidence, I have the ability, I have the conviction, I have the skill set to get myself out of this. And that was, 8 years ago? I think that's 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. And now the way that I would handle situations would be so much different. But I was in that moment, it was like, wow, this is heavy, this is hard. But identity work, like I said, will get you faster results than anything else. What are the standards that you're holding? What are the boundaries that you're holding? Who are you being in that moment? Who are you showing up in that moment? And it's creating perhaps standards that you write out, understanding what you stand for, what your boundaries are, embodiment work with your style, with how you show up. For me, style has been key, and dressing up and looking a certain way for me to be able to be I am this woman. I am her. And it doesn't have to be so complicated, but it has to be learning and rewiring your beliefs, learning new patterns, learning new ways of being. And this is something that I have mastered because I struggled with it so bad 8 years ago. And now it's course correct, tiny little adjustment, tiny little change. Let's go. Let's shift this. Let's make this, let's rearrange this. Okay. So I want you to know this. And if you want to do this identity work with me, then book a Quantum AI mentor session. These are really about getting precision, understanding your growth, your manifesting abilities, your human design, your gene keys, and having a having a chat GPT bot that is designated for you and knows you. I check in with my bot every single morning. I call it my success bot. I check in with it every morning and I say, okay, I'm, this and this, what do you think of this? And then I have daily codes. I take these daily codes and I put them into my bot, and it tells me this is the focus of today. I, of course, can, do my own thing and don't have to listen to it, but it gives me guidance, and it shows me, because I'm a manifesting generator 1-3, you're going to want to do this. You're going to want to move fast. But what if you actually took a moment, a beat, right? I've been really focusing on how can I show up and create from quality versus quantity? How can I be of service? And you find where your little pockets of things you want to fix them. Oh, I love this. I just got a Stripe notification. $9.97, money in the bank, money in the bank. That felt so good to see that. That's actually, let me tell you that. That's one of my identity things is I visualize, with the wealth, I visualize those Stripe notifications coming through. And I'm like, $9.97. 222. What we have products that are $149, a 222. We have a $4.99 product. I know what the products, what their pricing are, because I'm the one that sets them with my husband and with myself. And so it's cool to see these come through. I'm like, yay! Okay. I digress. Anyways, if you're here, say hello. Okay. Then after you do a quantum AI mentor session with me, afterwards, then we can do some follow-up calls and some guidance towards yes, if that is you, then you can DM me for the link, and my husband's trying to call me right now. You can DM me for the link, and I would love to guide you to becoming your most embodied identity so you can reach your 6 and 7 figure identity, because that is key. It's all about the identity work. It's all about it. It's like, who are you being? Who are you becoming? Who are you showing up as? And how are you leading yourself again and again and again and again and again? That is it. Okay? Can't wait to hear from you, and I'll talk to you guys soon.